I'm just going to talk a bit about what PlayDisrupt does, how we do it, why we do it, and go through a few of our different projects that we've done recently that I think are especially fun and joyful. So at PlayDisrupt, we come from an art and theatre background, and our practice is built through years of making theatre and play interventions and community engagement activities. And the area that we particularly work in are the built environment sectors, in health and well-being, as well as in academic research and the arts. So the purpose of our work is to build better conversations with stakeholders and to expand engagement within civic conversation, enabling more people to be actively engaged in big issues. So each project we work on starts with a unique question or a problem to solve, and also an examination of what barriers there might be to participation, so we can see how we can overcome those. So we use play because we feel it helps people to see things from different perspectives, and it makes complicated issues easier to understand. So to do that, we will design strategies to connect with underrepresented communities in certain places, deliver in-person workshops with the public, and we also deliver online and hybrid workshops. So we've been working for a while with boxes that are posted containing lots of fun, playful materials that can help to build ideas and connections. And we also do training and team building with organisations too. So coming from a theatre making background, outdoor theatre, we see it's a very similar skill, inviting people to come and play a giant game of massive battleships across a river, as it is to get people to come and talk to us about how they might use their high streets. So a bit more about why play. It helps people to engage actively with a question, inviting exploration of different possibilities. It creates better connections between ideas and other people taking part. And it can help to break down barriers. Play is really not what you always expect to see at a local authority engagement day, for example. It helps people and us to interrogate systems. When you're designing activities, you're looking for what the right question is to pose. It stands out, lots of colour and shapes that draw people in, and we go to parks and to streets, wherever it is that people are going to be. And it's experience-based, so we're looking to engage hearts, minds and bodies. We often quote Bernard de Couvin, who was a game designer, author, fun theorist. Let me move that so I can read it. Some games shift the way we see each other and understand each other. They're funny, they break down barriers, they invite us to see each other and ourselves differently. Play is about being open and vulnerable. Play is about that vulnerability, about being responsive and yielding to the moment. You might not be playing, but if you are willing to play, at the drop of a hat, the bounce of a ball, the glance of a toddler, the wag of a tail, then you're open to any opportunity. You are loose, responsive, and present. So if we can get people anywhere near towards that place in civic decision-making, being responsive and open rather than in conflict with an idea or a person, then you're enabling constructive conversations to take place. So I will run through a few of our recent projects with you. So these are a few pictures from a project at Pavilion down Southwest, who invited us last summer to design a flexible, playful and physical intervention that they could pop up in unusual places around Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole, and that engaged members of the public in a conversation about dance. The information gathered from residents was going to form the foundation of thinking for a new engagement strategy, so bringing user-led design process right into the heart of the strategic direction for the community engagement work. So our brief was to create something attention-grabbing, playful, and to physically encourage people to think about dance and their relationship to dance and the relationship to Pavilion down Southwest. So we co-designed these interventions, you can see here, with the young engagement team at PDSW over the course of a few months, and trained them in how to go out and deliver it. So we had music coming from the spinning wheel game on the left with the speaker. We used seaside tropes like spinning windmills and ice cream. And the purpose is to surprise people, draw people in with sort of movement and sound, Yeah, so, and great weather for this, so that was extra fun. So this is a very recent project, and Joe Morrison is here, who we were working with on this for Calvium. So we were looking at digital placemaking for future NHS health and wellbeing provision in North East London. So we went with this to Bikefest in Barking, set up our gazebo around a number of other organisation and sponsor tents. So we needed to stand out in crowd. And what you can see in the picture is a game about well-being called Baker's Brain. And you have to move those pieces which represent the different ways to achieve well-being and put them in the right place. And then in turn, that lights up the 3D printed brain that you can see there. And there were lots of other activities that people could get involved with as much as they wanted. Having a light up brain you can play with is a bit of a weird thing to find out and about on the streets. It brings fun, joy, definitely curiosity. So it's that oddness that grabs people's attention to come and talk to us about what we're doing. So really it's quite a similar technique to advertising. This next one is Roots. So this is a quickfire card game and systems exercise we've developed. It's a facilitated activity. It takes people through a change they'd like to see in their neighbourhood and exploring what provision already exists and what additional resources might be needed to deliver that particular idea. And Tom's actually facilitated with us a few times and has done this quite a lot. So in Roots, the fun is within the process. It's making a discovery and learning something together and connecting with each other. We often have people say things like they didn't realize they had it in me, but when you're sort of asking the right questions and helping people through, lots of new ideas come out. And there are realizations. Some really nice ideas. We've had a swimming and diving festival in Eastville Park in Bristol, an outdoor cinema off East Street to bring people together and make the street feel safer at night, and roller coasters in Barton Hill to improve play park provision. And we're actually working on this as a free downloadable resource for our website, so people can use that. It should be available soon. This is where I spoke about my most fun experience. So in the last couple of years, we've worked as part of a project called Find Your Village, which is a collaboration between a paediatrician from University of Bristol, Dr. Tom Allport, and community activist, director of Barton Hill Activity Club, and local resident Samira Mus. The project is in the Barton Hill area of Bristol, working with young people, kind of 9 to 13 from the Somalian community. A lot of the work we've done is to explore how local policies about neighbourhood geography could take more account of the experiences of young people from ethnically diverse backgrounds. We've done lots of interesting things with the group, but the things that really worked were injecting lots of play provision. So things like paper boat racing on the river, a wheel racing game, and Woodland Tribe bringing a swing building activity to a local park. So it's that free play, all within the context of engaging with place, gave the kids loads of joy and pleasure while connecting with those big questions. And this is my last one, a project last year, Western Harbour Visioning Programme. We were delivering cross-city creative workshops. We use loose part methodology with the blocks and the plasticine and flags, and we took inspiration from the good ancestor, asking people to imagine what their great-grandchildren's generation would need in a future neighbourhood. So joy here is created in that sort of satisfaction when people can share a joint experience together, like recognizing that you used to go to the same pub and talking about the bands or the DJs that you might have seen there. We had quite a bit of that. And physically building with coloured blocks, that shared neighbourhood, and discussing the personal, it opens people up, allowing them to share their authentic selves while exploring and explaining lots of complex topics. So for us, fun and surprise, they're in the bait and the stealth to initially pull people into conversations, but also within the process and experience of thinking through ideas.